What is up? We are on Zero to Hero Season 2, Week 6, with Van as the guest, Marth Main from Northern California. Let's get started.
Substream. I also wanted to say, praise the Lord for Hideo Kojima getting freed.
Yes. Awesome. If you guys don't get the context of the joke, Van is at Lord's place, who lives really close to Van. Is that correct?
Yeah,
reasonably close.
He's around 10-15 minutes.
Okay, cool. So it's been a while, and I felt that a common theme for this week and why I chose this lesson was because you know matchups really well, and then there's matchups where you don't know much.
Sadly, I wanted to mention that the videos I sent you were from like a month ago.
Oh, shoot.
I actually went to Daryl's house yesterday and tried to record, but they all got corrupted.
No.
But I don't think I've learned anything new about Samus since that month, so I think it should still make sense.
How did the matches go?
They were generally pretty close, but there were times where he would just like straight up force talk me.
Jeez.
Yeah. I got revenge against his other characters, but I don't think he's that proud of his other characters, so.
I see.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we're gonna go over dissecting matches, and hopefully we can develop a framework where it's applicable to other matches. So we're gonna talk about the Samus matchup. We're not gonna talk about everything about it because I don't think that's physically possible in like one day to do. Last week we talked about analyzing videos, so why don't we go ahead and talk about that for a bit. We have your spreadsheet where you looked at some stuff yourself. So what are some trends that you noticed?
So main thing was the things I got punished the most for were inefficient double jumps.
Ooh, those will cost you.
Yeah, and advancing aerials. That's it.
Yeah. Advancing aerials are like a tricky one with Marth because there's definitely a space for them, but it's difficult to understand. It's difficult to understand because like when you play bad players, like they're not going to punish you, and so it's like going to be like a really, it's going to be like really, it's really hard to like assess like why like it doesn't work because at like mid-level play and like mid-high level play like. Yeah. People will punish you really hard, and then we kind of go on the other end of the spectrum where it's like, oh, I guess this move is really bad, but there are, still, a lot of good benefits that we can get out of it. So,
could you sort the data by action? We'll see what shows up the most, I guess. Because I tried to label everything by like the same criteria. Let's see.
Advancing aerial.
Yeah. Grab, spot dodge. This was my grabs were getting predictable. I wasn't respecting his spot dodges. Actually, that might have been the key to that matchup, from what I saw.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Drop punishes, those hurt.
Yeah. Badass smash. The double jumps were killing me.
Yeah. Double jumps as Marth are really bad.
Yeah. Everything else was mainly just tech flubs. So all the like singular mistakes over here.
Yeah. It seems like there's some trends. I think a lot of it's like YOLO-y moves, move choice.
The badass smashes.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we talked about analyzing videos last week, and I think every time I do it, I hate it. It kind of feels like a chore, but I think every time I do it for myself, I learn something new that I can put into my game. Or something.
I think it's encouraging.
Yeah.
Because all the mistakes you see, all the trends you see, are all fixable once you give context to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how like poker is too, because it's like very overwhelming in the beginning. Yeah. And then you fix like one leak at a time, and then like after like a month you fix like 15 leaks, and then your gameplay gets just so much better.
Yeah. Then you win $1 million.
Yes.
Well, maybe.
Maybe over time. I mean, cash games are a little fickle. So the general idea I want to talk about is like discussing matchups, and I usually like to think of like how do we break down matchups into bite-sized pieces, so down to like specific common areas that both characters interact, and then I like to like identify options, like the goals in the sense of like what does each character want in that situation, and then the strengths of each character in that situation, and like what are the weaknesses. And then I ask myself like, okay, how do these like options interact? Because in fighting games, like there's very rarely a situation where it's like, oh, never do this. It's always, you always want to think in the framework of risk reward. Like if I do this and I miss, like what's gonna happen? If I do it, like what's the reward? And then fourth is like kind of a little bit tricky, and it's a little bit, it requires nuance because you have to understand like a bunch of things, and it's like what are the counterplays and the Yomi involved. So in most cases, like you can get away with just knowing the top three, and if you know the options and how they interact, you can play very almost mindlessly if you understand the top three, because like you have really strong fundamentals. But number 4 comes into play when both players are really good. Then your strengths may become weaknesses because they're too predictable, and your opponent may be playing a strong counterplay to your strategy, so it becomes a lot more interesting.
Okay.
So the general idea, like I like to say, it's like 4 levels of like matchup experience. Like 1 is like general play, like I don't know, Marth has really good down tilts, or Sheik really likes grabs, like really generic stuff. And then like the level 2 comes into like, okay, like match specific knowledge, like we just talked about. Like okay, like Samus's grab is really bad. When Martha jumps, it sucks. Number 3 would be like the manipulation of this knowledge. Like, okay, like how do we play around this? How do we play around like weaknesses and really punish people for that? And then 4 is like playing the player, and inevitably like there's like a false dichotomy of like, oh, do we play the matchup or play the character? And like at really high levels, you need both, because when you just play the character and they already know like how to play against that strategy, then like you're not gonna win. So I guess when we look at Samus, and this is how I break down matchups. It's like, what are the strong points of the character? So like, what is Samus like really good at, and also like what can you abuse, like in any given situation. So like, what do you think of some of Samus's weaknesses are?
She can't really get back from the edge.
Okay, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
What are some
I was having a lot of success just keeping Daryl off the edge yesterday when I played him. But once he got back on, then he just killed me. But anyways, other weaknesses. Let me think. She can't really do anything coming down.
Yeah.
Like I think she can do like a nair that beats out people who are going forward at her. But if I go this way, then can't really do anything.
Yeah.
And her edge guards are kind of decent, I guess. She can't really go out and hit Marth as hard as he can hit her. But I think she kills Marth at a quicker rate than he can kill her. But theoretically, you should be able to never let her hit you.
Right.
As long as you do the PPMD method of how he destroyed Armada that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are pretty good. You got one that I totally forgot about, and it's just like, you can see. Do you see my screen or no?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. On the ledge. And so, like, those are, like, the things, like, I revolve my game plan around, because it's like, okay, these are pretty bad weaknesses. And for certain characters, maybe it's not as obvious, but, like, every character has, like, some sort of flaw to them. Whether it's, like, a positional disadvantage or, like, no character is, like, strong at, like, every position, with the exception of maybe Fox.
Yeah.
Fox is silly. So then I asked myself, okay, like, I wrote down a list of things, and this is something you could do with, like, any matchup. And sometimes, it can come to really subtle things. Like Pikachu, for example, has a lot of weaknesses that most people have not really thought about. Like her Nair approach, for example, is crouch cancelable, and you can grab it. But, so, like, it's like, how do I abuse this, right? What are Samus's weaknesses? So if she's awful in the air, then I want to prioritize hits that lead Samus into the air. If she has a poor grab, then I'm going to abuse I'm going to abuse shield-based approaches if she's willing to swing.
That was one thing I had issues with, because Marth's shield sucks. So when I was trying to run up and shield and see what Daryl would do, he would just do a well-spaced down smash against me, then I would get hit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And then lack of mobility means like dash dance speed, because like on Samus commits, like it's 5 times worse than like Sheik's tilts, where Sheik's tilts are pretty quick.
Yeah.
other than like Samus's jab, like all of it can be poked back. Like
It's
down,
generally pretty easy to get grabs on Samus from my eyes.
yeah.
Yeah.
She has a lot of weaknesses, and so like, so what are Samus's weaknesses? Similar to Peach, you can play fairly reactive as her shield waves out. She has to extend with wave dash. So if you see these bottom boxes, maybe I'll re-highlight the color.
I can't really see them that well right now.
All right, let me change the color. Okay.
Okay.
That's a little. Let me.
that accentuates the point. Yes.
Let me change the outlines.
Okay.
Like if you look at her hitboxes and how she works, like these are like the only things that like, kind of come out like immediately without her moving. It's just that down smash and like tilts. And because of this, like anything that she does, like she has to really like hard read to gain anything, or like and everything that she does, you can technically react to. She's like a really bad character in many aspects. So we want to like the thing about Samus, and you probably noticed this with Daryl, is that it's a very footsies based matchup where you got like if you jump, like there has to be a reason for why you jump, and for Samus to jump, they have to have a very specific reason, or else they will get punished very hard. So we have to understand, and this is like a convention that KK has taught me. It's really hard to see, but like think of your character and like the numbers around it as like the numbers on a numpad.
Yeah.
So if I say 6, that's like corresponding to your right. And you want to understand like at any given position, like how does my hitboxes interact with Samus? So if I were to like give strong points, right? Samus has a pretty good 1 in 3. So like if we were to say like highlight these are green, like these are good spots for Samus. God, none of these colors work.
The green's fine.
Those are pretty good spots for her.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good spot for her, but everything else like is like yeah, she can get hitboxes up there, but they're really bad. They're like really slow. Whereas
so theoretically, when you juggle her, you should want to be at the 2.
Yeah. Well, if you're juggling in the air, then it's a little bit of a different story. But like Samus beneath her is pretty bad. She's strong front and behind. But we'll go more into the footsies aspect.
She's so tiny.
So as we mentioned before,
we have baby forms too.
this is like this is her basis for like her. These are her main hitboxes. Like if you really think about Samus, like she really only does like one of 2 things on the ground. Like in terms of attacks, it's like jab and like down smash or down tilt. There's nothing really much to her, and it just revolves around her like getting to those spots. So do you play like Street Fighter at all?
No, I used to play Soul Calibur, which is all poke based.
Okay, so like that's like this is how like it kind of applies here. Like she only has like 2 main threats, and then everything else she does is like her having to make a really hard play. So like yes, like she can make tricky jump. Like everything else she has to do like is slow, and she has to make a hard play. So if she wants to jump, like she has to do that, right? But that's like pretty reactable, or she has to wave dash in. So there's other routes, but like they're all like pretty telegraphed, and the only way she hits you is if you give a really hard read. So like for example, wave dashing in into a tilt or to a down smash is her main approach. She doesn't have anything else. Like, and like the way we counterplay it is if she walks in. Walling aerials are really good against her, so you can get out of these hitboxes, which I'll change color, by just playing backwards, right? And just really abusing that if she's willing to commit to something like a wave dash, then you can punish her by wave dashing back or walling her out with a jump fair. So like... So the key options we asked, like, cause like I'm not sure how Gerald's beating you, in yesterday's, like, what are they willing to commit to from like this very common spot? Are they shielding? Are they wave dashing in? Are they jump aerialing? Are they wave dashing back? Are they spamming D smashes and tilts? And what I really want to emphasize, so we only talked about like a piece of we talked about one option where what if they wave dash in, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we talked about some of the counterplays to it. Like, what you need to be able to do is. Okay, so these are like her like 6 like pretty much like main options. Like you can kind of like do some deviations with some pauses, but like you want to develop a plan for if she likes to shield or up B or wave dash in, or she likes to jump aerial or wave dash back. Like what fundamentally counters it?
Okay. How about the bomb jump? Just run up at him.
Jump fair, like just
Okay.
jump neutral fair.
Okay. I'm trying to think of other things that Samus can do.
I mean that's a little bit gimmicky because it's really telegraphed on what they can do.
Yeah, that's true. I guess these are the only like safe, like fundamental options you can take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so our base game plan can center around this, right? And this is like applicable because you're Marth and you can abuse a lot. So like, let me steal this rectangle. Like if we're gonna look at it from a proactive standpoint, right? Why does Samus have to respect us? It's mainly because of our ability to down tilt and to wall.
Mm-hmm. One of the things, one of the issues I have with down tilt is I always think of it as a combo, not a combo starter, like as a damage starter, but it's not actually specifically used to give damage.
Yeah.
You're using it to create a threat. But
Yes.
I try to go in and get the hit, and that doesn't usually end up well for me.
Yeah, that's really tough.
Yeah.
So like, and then we look at your options, right? Because like down tilt and like jump and place fair are really good options because if she runs in and down smashes, like your jump fair will straight up beat her.
Yeah.
And so knowing that and knowing that your opponent's not gonna just like stay there and let you like do these for free, this is where like, it becomes really interesting, and this is where Daryl will be a good enough player to say like, okay, he knows like your strong options, like how is he playing around it, and that's where we go back to this point of manipulating that knowledge, right? If Daryl knows what the match specific knowledge is, like how is he manipulating like Samus's weaknesses and like what your strengths are, because bad players will just get straight up beat by like the fundamentals of a good character. Like they will not be able to solve how to deal with this wall. Like you can play against bad Samuses and literally just do down tilt and jump fair, and they literally cannot do anything.
From what I remember, when I was trying to space with fairs, or was it fade back fairs?
Yeah.
He would just run up and crouch cancel, and then do something after.
In that case, you nair.
Okay.
So you get the second hit.
So it's all about it's more about move choice.
It's
I
move
guess?
choice and like spacing too, like because like you can space fair in different ways.
Okay.
You can still aim the strong hit, or you can choose not to do it. Like you can. It seems like what probably happened is your intentions were really obvious on where you're gonna fair, and he's gonna hard counter, and you can fake the fair and bait.
Okay. So just like do a tomahawk or something.
Like just like in a moment where you think you're gonna jump, just like stay in place and don't do anything, and then let Daryl come in and shield.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I had some success beating his crouch cancels with a down air, but
Yeah.
it doesn't lead to anything. It just gives me a way to run away.
Doesn't it tech chase?
No, just like when he runs up and crouch cancels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is he shielding?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the down air would just shield poke his foot or something.
I see. So, this is like what you really want to think about, because with like floaties like Luigi, Mario, Samus, they all play. They're all playing the same way. Like they're fundamentally saying like, how do I beat down tilt and how do I beat walls? Like how, and usually what they have to do is do like a really gross like over like anticipation / like read to beat you. And
So
when
they
you,
can only get in through hard reading.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's either you're obvious in your timing or like you're spacing in a certain way that's giving off like signals that you're willing to down tilt and fair.
Okay.
So what do we respect? Obviously, Samus's crouch cancels and D smashes. Like don't force bad trades, be wary of percentages and weak hits.
Mm-hmm.
Down smash is like really bad because not only does it like kind of knock us out and deal decent damage, it puts us in bad stage position, and as you know from Peach in these floaty matchups, stage position's everything.
Yeah.
Samus projectiles, obviously, like we don't have any, so you can't play full screen against Samus and expect to have any success.
I had a little bit of success power shielding, but I'm wondering if that's a sustainable tactic in this matchup.
If they're
What do you think?
spamming and you're like at a at a space where they're spamming missile, and you can power shield into wave dash in. Samus's lag is very punishable.
Okay. I got some power shields off on his on the blaster, but I don't know. That's a legit tactic.
It's pretty easy to do. I get it a lot unintentionally.
Okay.
And so the fundamental things, once again, if you abuse certain options like holding stage, holding shield, like the fun of a matchup, especially for Marth, because it's very polarizing, is like how do they respond to that? And they will have to do very like big things. Like if you're holding shield a lot, like they're gonna have to do like really gimmicky things, and it's like up to you to figure out like, okay, what kind of gimmick are they doing? Like, are they running up and shielding, spamming grabs a lot? And pretty much like everything they have to do to beat it is like suboptimal. And if you can play like the next level rock paper scissors, like you can and be cognizant. It's like kind of like a mouse, right? Like they hit a buzzer, right, and they get electrocuted, and they eventually find a different route. Like it's like it's a little hard to do, but this is what high level play is. It's processing like how are they learning how to beat your walls and what are they going to do about it. And if you can catch on to like how they're learning and how they're adapting before they do the next option, this is like how you crush them.
Okay.
So playing a strong character based strategy overall like will yield you dividends and force your opponent to make harder leads, but if you don't properly respond to their hard counter, then you will lose like regardless. So adaptation is always key. So do you have any other thoughts about before we go to your match?
Let's go into it.
Okay. One Punch Man.
That's my new tag change. I'm trying to get Smash GG change my name.
You could just change it in your profile.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to before, but it looks like you only changed your sponsor thing.
Oh shit! No, that wasn't me. That was a blue ball. That was me. That was me. Yeah.
So you're doing really well in terms of just like controlling.
Oh, he's a blue little ball.
Right when I screwed up, right when I got that king combo, we both laughed because we knew that he'd get back pretty easily.
Yeah. That's so. So there's like like a lot of good principles here. You're controlling center, and that's what earns you these openings.
Yeah.
But then a lot of this this was because you didn't respect his options off the ledge. And I think had you known that he's capable of doing that, you could have spaced that very differently.
Yeah.
They just made a new game called Hell Rising.
Oh, whoops. I forgot to say that I need to change it to slide. Oh, okay. My bad. Let's start over.
Okay.
They didn't see it. So, I really I apologize to the stream and future YouTube vouchers. So I like that you controlled here with the down tilt and everything. And so that's good spacing, and that's what earns you all this. And pretty much like Samus either gets a hit one of two ways. Like you don't respect them and you don't play patient, or like they get a really good hard read on you. Those are like the only two ways that Samus hits you. Samus is a joke character.
Okay.
Alright, that's good. That's good. You missed there. Alright. Here, like, you mess up a little bit on stage control. Like, that should have never happened. Like, you should have gone free damage on the platform. Alright, so you're doing well.
Why would they give that one character friendly fire?
How do you feel about the way I deal with the missiles? I just like try to jab it and then run in. And hit him during his lag, if he does a standing missile.
It depends on the distance. Like that's like a very like tough question to always answer because it depends on how far away they are relative to the missile.
Okay.
So let me see. Like, why did you get hit?
Let's see. That was I tried to do the same thing and he read me and just forward tilted me when I tried to run in after the missile.
Yeah. So once again, like you have to like always think it's like the Samus players, because they're so bad, like their character's so bad, like they're always gonna be outthinking, and they're not gonna let you do the same thing twice. So if you're gonna do like hit through their shield, then Daryl's gonna think like, hey, like he ran at me, so like what's the counterplay? Oh, I'm gonna hit him while his jab animation's still countering my shield or countering the missile. So that's kind of hard to think because you have to think about like what option are they gonna do. But as you see, like understand like how the interactions interact, like those answers will become a lot more apparent.
Oh, I get it.
If only I had a simple way to beat missiles, like a needle or something.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's what you can think of, right? They throw a missile out, right? Are they running in or running away, right?
Oh, okay.
And if they are running in a lot, then what you can do is just shield it and then wave dash back and then punish, as if like they're just doing a mindless dash attack like a sheep.
Yeah. If I think he's gonna forward tilt in response, can I just like run up and shield?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it becomes a 50-50. Ideally, that's like not the best position. Well, okay, if they're going to run up and forward tilt, I think you can fare through, and you will hit the missile, and you will beat the forward tilt.
Okay.
With good spacing. And if you space in a way that they can't get in either, and it's all mix-ups.
That means he's not coming.
Also, I'm not sure how to edgeguard Samus. I watched PPU do it, and somehow he gets like a bunch of spikes. Well, during Samus's what's the thing? The chain thing? I don't know what it's called.
So we can explain that. I mean, there's timing windows, right? Think of it as like an odd bullet hell where you like have to find certain timings.
Okay.
And so I can explain that to you when the opportunity arises. I like your stage control here a lot. So in this situation, it's like really important to realize like what are their options, because like if I'm imagining hitboxes. Like, he gets up here, right? And then he has a second action that you can react to. So if he's going to wave dash in here, then his hitboxes will only hit the ground, and you can immediately respond with a jump fair or jump nair. Because that's
got a lot of mileage off the nair because his ledge dash on wasn't that powerful.
Yeah. So you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job here. Oh, no.
And that was where I died. Well, it was a good effort.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna see where you get an edge guard here. So you're racking up a lot of damage here, and this is where most of the matchup comes to die, because like they're gonna have to think of something really tricky to like beat you. All right, you're kind of playing mindless here.
Yeah.
So this is where you autopilot. So after
when
you
I get
here,
on stage, I'm not sure what to do.
This was a mindless attack.
Yeah.
That was mindless. That was mindless. That was mindless. That was mindless. So I mean, once again, like if you ever feel like you're in panic mode, just reset.
Okay.
And then
run back to neutral.
Yeah, run back to neutral and just think about like. If you're skirmishing and you're not winning, just like go back to neutral if you can. You're Marth, you're a reasonably fast character.
Yeah.
So we know something interesting here. So Daryl's gonna getting punished every time.
Yeah.
So you have to take note of that.
Okay.
He's doing that specifically because he knows that you're gonna aerial, and that's the wise counter, right? You're still in a good position, but he's doing this because he has to.
Okay.
So
and that's when I just grab him.
Yeah, you can grab him, or I mean, grabbing turns into 50-50, which is not really safe. You can just space back a little bit, throw a fair on his shield, and then work your way into another hit that's not a 50-50. Because if you go into the 50-50 game where it's like, is he shielding or if he's down smashing, like, well, like, what if you're wrong?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we want to think of solutions that cover multiple things that will work us towards a hit.
Okay.
Alright, let's see what you earn here. Alright, good. Questionable DI by him. So yeah, you just literally have been owning him through... Oh, that was bad.
Yeah. I'm dying to the... I don't know what I'm dying to. Samusy things? What's the word for it?
You're playing... You're getting outsmarted a lot. It's mindless play, I guess that would happen.
Okay.
Like this nair is like doesn't have much of a purpose. It's like you're hoping that
happened. Daryl told me or actually after this match he told me in that situation he always expects an aerial.
Yeah.
It's actually better for me to just roll in or do a wave dash in because he has less ability to cover that.
No. And this is you resetting to neutral when you didn't really need to. His back was turned.
Okay.
That was unfortunate. I don't necessarily disagree with the nair.
Those just poorly timed, I guess.
So that's really good. So like one thing I just really like, and the fact that is like, I think you've accumulated like 200 damage just off of him like getting off the ledge in this match.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me explain like Samus.
Yeah.
So like, okay, that wasn't the best. I was looking for like a bomb jump scenario. When they bomb jump, it presents like an interesting thing because like their movement is telegraphed for like the next minute or like next 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gets. So let me explain here.
Okay.
All right, because like here, like he's gonna you have like a little bit of a window here where like his movement's gonna be projected. Like if you were to picture a diagram here, like this is what his movement would have to be. He bounces off the bomb, and he gets here. So the time like where you can be most opportunistic is when the first bomb comes out. Because then he has to like make a decision. Like, does he get hit by the bomb and make his movement very transparent, or does he not take the bomb hit where he drops lower? So either situations are pretty good for you. Either he doesn't take the bomb and he drops to a low level, or he takes the bomb and you read his movement and then hit him. So
he's always going to be vulnerable in this situation, going forward or going down.
Yeah,
okay.
Because like he dropped the first bomb, and once he drops the first bomb, then like. His options are limited. Either he takes the first bomb and jumps, or he falls lower, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, like, if he was a bit closer here, then it's a bit tricky, because he could just not take the first bomb and then up B. But in this situation, if he up B, is like he's dead, because he's too far away.
Okay.
So yeah, do you see how that's like pretty telegraphed?
Yeah.
Alright, so once again, didn't respect the down smash. So like there's just like 3 things that you should have not gotten hit by. So I think that was silly.
Down smash.
That forward. Not that bad. The random missile to the face.
Yeah.
All right, love the.
You play yourself, bro, because you can get a checkpoint.
So the reason why, so I'm gonna explain why he like reacts the way he does. Even if you don't realize it, you're threatening the bomb jump spacing here, and that's why he keeps choosing not to take the bomb.
Okay.
Like see, see how he didn't take the first 2 bombs? It's because you threatened the space.
When you force him to have to up B, how would you react to it? I guess.
I have to.
Is it you think that's an advantageous position for us? I guess.
If you're YOLO, you down air, but I don't know the full details of it, and you'd have to get used to the timing. I mean, I would just wave dash back down tilt and just reset, because like they're gonna be pretty low, and they're gonna have to like up B again, or grappling on this stage is kind of interesting. I don't really. I mean, it's stage dependent too, because they can't really grapple.
Yeah. On this stage, it's not as good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would down tilt. It's the safest option, because what happens if you forward smash and they sweet spot, then they could punish you.
Okay. Daryl's pretty good sweet spotting. I went for down tilt most of the time, and he would never get hit.
I mean, what you could do is fake that you're going to like hit him, and then just set yourself positioned into down tilt. And sometimes what that does is trigger the Samus to up B sooner than what they want.
Okay.
So 4 tilt. Unfortunate. Okay, so there's something I call a stalemate point, right? Mm-hmm. And this is like where like you didn't get hit and he didn't get hit, but both of you could choose options. So if you're in a stalemate point like this, like pay attention to what they're doing afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So he ran away, right? So next time you could use that as information. Like if you shield his aerial and like you can potentially chase him, because like he might just want to run away.
Just call away his run away with like a down tilt.
Yeah.
You get like instantly trapped in the stage. Because like the more rings you get, you just get more power ups. It's not fair. It's so broken. It's like super good.
All right, love the corner pressure here.
Yeah.
Don't play this. This is the reason we put it.
All right, side B. Oh, you lost the corner. You lost the corner.
Yeah.
That's it. Lawrence. Brian playing on the grind.
Oh no, no up B.
Oh yeah, that's like my favorite move. I think I was just too scared
I
to do
see.
it. Yeah.
Oh, that was an
Oh, that's-
awful.
yeah.
No. Let's go to the section.
So it's like kind of him chipping away at like mistakes that like are pretty like I think are pretty obvious in my opinion.
Mhm.
So sloppy there. I don't really think that's that bad actually, Veneer. But like most of the time, you're winning these exchanges because you're winning exchanges from stage position, and you're getting hit out of a result of you just not knowing how to space situations like that. Like there's
Okay.
a good Marth would never really ever get hit in that situation. Like they
Okay.
would have hit, and so that's like a reversal of like 50% probably.
Okay. Well, it's good to know that my stage presence fundamentals have grown slightly.
Yeah.
You just tilt your analog stick to match where
You're so panicky right now.
Yeah. Every time he has during stage, I totally panicked.
Wait, who am I?
Huh, that was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, once again, like, yeah, he has advantage, but like, if you still have some stage, you still have like these principles, right? Like, like they can only threaten so much, and you can just work your way slowly in. Like, if this was like the corner, right? Like, you could slowly work your way in, and if they're willing to overcommit YOLO, then you punish them for going too in. But you can threaten and slowly move your way forward without having to do something super YOLO.
Maybe I should treat Samus like a worse character.
Yeah,
Or
She
treat
has-
Samus like the bad character she is.
yeah. You're playing this too honestly, and by honest I mean like you're not abusing your character.
Okay. Oof.
You're just getting hit by like random Samus things. All right, so there we go. So you're winning a lot from just good positioning.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh, that's yeah.
oh no! This would have been really close if you didn't SD.
Oh.
All right.
If you watched this yesterday, they were not as close as this.
What was the point of a grab here?
Let's see. Oh yeah.
There's no point to that.
I think I should just like spaced in there like a normal.
Yeah. It doesn't sound sexy, but if it's like if like you're playing a really strong position for yourself, like you just go for the guaranteed like safe stuff.
Mhm.
Unless like grab like automatically killed there, which it probably didn't.
Only against a spacey or
Yeah.
something.
Nice. All right, nice. One of the trickiest baits you can do is that if Samus is scared, you can wave dash in, wave dash back bait. Because like they will want to run into you, and then you hit them.
Okay.
Because Samus is awful. Yeah. All right, and this is where advancing aerials are not that good because like
Yeah.
even if you hit, like you get situations like that.
I got like 2 of them to hit and still got owned.
Yeah, it's tough.
Okay.
So if we look at like principles there, I mean, I think one thing that's like really good is you just abusing him in the corner.
Okay.
But if we were to look at certain things, I felt that a lot of your hits, maybe it's not because it's the stage, but I felt like you could abuse getting Samus in the air more.
Okay.
So like things like you didn't really get grabs that would lead into up throws, and he wasn't DIing correctly, so I don't really blame the forward throws, but I think you could have gone like fairs that lead into like aerials that like lead them into the air. You need to make Samus's life like as miserable as possible.
So put him in the around the world situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the main thing I or probably the only thing I abused was Samus's terrible get up options.
Yeah. You did a really good job at that. You probably like racked up like 300 to 400 damage just off of that position alone.
Yesterday I discovered the power of forward B up tilt.
4B up tilt.
Yeah, against Samus.
It's good.
if even if she smashed the eyes, you can hit him with a fair or up air.
Yeah, it's really good. And if they don't know the DI, then you kill.
Yeah. The only way they can beat it is like get a crouch cancel, but then you can just like down tilt after. As long as the 4B is spaced well.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's really silly like how easy Samus is abused. So like I really like using this like picture, and like if we really look at it, like it's like a boss fight in Smash, where they really have just a set amount of options, and if you understand and if you can prepare yourself, like it is one of the most easy matchups where like you will win neutral like 90% of the time. But what else was like going wrong yesterday?
Yesterday? Let me think. He said that sometimes he would just decide to shoot a lot of stuff, and I would just get hit by it. That's one of the main things. And I wasn't respecting the clank ability.
Oh yeah. If he's starting to throw out a lot of stuff, then you zone him out, and you go back to this principle of like, what are his ranges, and like how do I manipulate him to throw out stuff and then hit him? Because like down smash, like if he commits like a down smash like here, and like you can hit him, like you get free hits. Like if he throws out things that like are very punishable.
One thing that he hit me repeatedly with was the nair going down fastball.
Yeah. So how do we beat that then?
Just go behind him.
Yeah. Or what you could do is jump and then just like empty, not do anything, and just let him throw out the move first, and then just hit him.
Okay.
So you jump up into like a range where he thinks like he can hit you, and just drop down and don't throw a hitbox, and then let him throw out the nair and then hit him after.
Okay, that's good. Getting up from the stage, I had a bit of trouble with, but I had some success with just pulling back with the fair, and making Samus fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
And I had some success with counter, but that's a gimmick, and he figured it out after a couple times.
Yeah. I mean, you can throw that out like once in a while, but
he's generally a pretty aggressive player. But if I do it against a Hugs like Samus, it's not gonna work out.
Yeah. Did you get to watch PPU versus Hugs?
I watched the first set where he got messed up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And it was definitely winnable. And when he got the rematch, he won. But I still need to watch it.
Yeah. The main thing is that Hugo was going really deep in, and PPU wasn't reacting correctly. Mm-hmm. So what was happening is PPU was throwing hitboxes, and Hugo would wave dash in really deep into PPU. Mm-hmm. But PPU's counterplay to that was he was dashing into this position, and then Hugo would respond by going in more, and then instead of PPU trying to just like stand here and shield and get him to a very bad position sometimes, he would just dash away and then like punish whiffs.
Okay, so it's like grab, simple forward air or something.
Yeah, he would like forward air down tilt, but he would do it in a way that he's not walling here all the time, because it's a really good thing if like they're only going a certain distance close and you wall them out. But Hugo was going super deep in, and what PPU was doing was he was just getting out of the range and then just dash dance punishing it.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes there's an art here. Like sometimes being stationary isn't as good as dash dancing, like just like outside the range, just to see like if they will go in. But that depends on like the mode that Samus is in. And Hugo was getting a lot of mileage off of just like going in deep and just like dash attacking into PPU and stuff like that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely a advantageous matchup now that we discussed it.
Yeah. So like just like watch PPU and the Hugs, because they go through like the whole like orchestra of options like that you could go over in ground footsies. I think it's like really beautiful to watch from both sides. I don't think they're playing like the cleanest, but like you get to see like the options that they choose to do. And I guess that could be like your homework this week, is just to look over those matches and just see like the different options, and like I don't know, like write down like every option they do and like what are the counters to it.
Okay.
And
do you think PPU is the best Marth against Samus?
I don't know. It's like a relatively unexplored matchup, because like in my head I think Marth wins every time, but like Duck beat the Moon last time. Hugs and PPU traded sets. Hugs beat PP, like PP's Marth the last time they played in one game. Yeah. So like we don't really have a sample size. And the Samuses that play the matchup probably have a lot more experience, because like Hugs has played Ken for years. Duck has played Dart a lot in tournaments, so yeah, that's.
I remember Mewtwo King being pretty good at the matchup, but that never happens anymore.
Yeah, he just goes Sheik.
Yeah. But he did some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah.
In order to beat keep the Samus's bomb jump honest, he would let himself get hit by the bomb while doing a down air.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they go into it, they get killed. So it's like a really good option.
Yeah, but it's still unsafe. I tried doing it before and I just killed myself multiple times.
Oh.
Anyways, I wanted one part of the SG set I sent you. I wanted to go over.
Okay.
It's mainly because it was one part that made me super salty.
All right.
It's do you still have the link to it in our emails?
I'll look for it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, you heading out?
Yeah.
Everybody?
I mean, maybe after dinner.
Okay. I'm actually pretty hungry.
Are you playing later or just watch the video? Watch the live stream.
We'll play.
Okay. Alright.
Let me see. When was it? It was like Thanksgiving week. Here's my videos for the week. Okay, I think I found it. There it is. Let's see. Alright, let's look at this.
Alright.
Alright, let me change the stream view.
Should be a second match, end of his first stock, I think. That's it.
Alright, we're here.
End of his first stock. So he still has his first stock. I think right here. Yeah, it should be it.
Okay.
Let's see.
Alright.
Oops. Oh, never mind. That's the wrong one.
Right.
End of his second stock.
Alright, we'll just play through it.
Okay, it's not that long.
Why didn't you go for grab here? If you were that confident in that, you could have dash dance grabbed into like a lot, or like dash dance shield grab or something.
In general, this set made me pretty salty, but
That's unfortunate.
yeah.
Alright, miss combo. Alright. For some reason, you didn't pick up on the fact that he just loves to spot dodge every time he lands.
Yeah, I figured it out like right after.
Alright, you killed
I went
him.
home.
You killed him in a very janky way.
Yeah. I don't even know, even if that forward smash hit, he wouldn't have survived.
Alright, so what are we looking for? It's the second stock happened already.
Yeah, it should be the stock.
Alright, this stock. No. Alright.
This moment.
Yeah. What about it?
Should I stop going for the downer? That's gonna happen.
You weren't properly set in a position. Like if you look, like you're out of position. Like before this happens, like there's just like so many things that could go wrong here because like it looks like you didn't L cancel and you're out of position.
Okay.
Like look at all that look at all that extra movement you have to do just to like set up position to like even go for the down air.
Okay.
I think
in my head, after he hit the cloud, I was just gonna grab the edge and then do a ledge hop down air again.
Yeah. So like here, like you already like could have reacted because I think you had a good like half a second to see that he has enough B still. I just don't see like why. I think it's pretty clear that like there's just way too much movement here for you even to like be set up in a position there.
Should have just countered them.
You should have just countered like or like kind of like bait him into like because the one thing I like to do actually, and it's kind of a bait. Let me see. And this is how people react, right? Because if you go this close, their instinct is not to go straight up because you're going to force smash them. They want to challenge you and hit you, right?
Okay.
Like, that's just a natural fox thing. So if you're, like, this close, right, they don't want to...
They're not going to sweet spot?
Yeah. But like, look at his angle, and now just reset. I think this was clearly a reactable thing where.
Okay. Maybe. So it's just a big screw up.
You're really greedy. I don't know why. I mean, there's no way.
I think I was trying to short hop down here.
Yeah, that's way too greedy.
So it's a fancy player syndrome again.
Yeah, like there's no purpose to it. Like you could have gone for like more guaranteed things, and Fox was at 97.
That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Then he kills me with like a really janky forward smash.
There's no point to that. Like you're hoping that for 7%, and if you're wrong, like if you're wrong in this situation, like we have to look at risk reward here, right? Because like at most you're getting 7%, and maybe,
Okay.
but like here if you're wrong and like they can react, then you're dead. Like even here, like it's a really bad spot for you that you never really covered from.
Oh yeah, that's all I want to go over with
Yeah.
that match.
Yeah.
It was very winnable now that I've looked at it millions of times.
Yeah, I mean a lot of it's like ping pong. Like when I watch, like I'm not good at ping pong, but like when I watch like what I perceive to be like okay ping pong players that like they play once in a while, like it really boils down to who's like making less mistakes.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't even mean just like messing up and getting hit, but like also like missing like opportune situations. That's the way I see it. So yeah, you guys are gonna go get food.
Yeah, but we didn't want to talk about it. I'm probably gonna go to Foundry next week.
Okay.
So I should have some tournament videos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sick with
Oh
it.
yeah, Laura can go too.
Wait, Lord's going?
Yeah,
Sick.
yeah. He just graduated.
Oh yeah, congrats.
Thanks.
Alrighty. Well, I'll talk to you later, and this
Yep.
wraps up the end of episode 6.
All right, sounds
Alright.
good.
Later.